The item list. To get to the item list, we click on Item, and this will pull up our list. This is our Manage Items list. It's basically a top to bottom of the products in the database. Down here on the bottom, you actually set how many items per page this grid will show. So if I set it to 1,000, then I will see 1,000 products. And within the 1,000 products, then I have the ability to hit this next page button that will take me to the next set. So at this point, we're on product 1001 of 2,000. If you hit this first page button, that takes us back to the first page. Depending on the performance of your internet, this setting can affect how quickly the list populates. Most people, I think, will be able to see 1,000 items at a time if they so choose. However, when you're using filters and probably using the features that the list offers, you may not need to actually do that. So on the top of the page is our menu. This is where we find a list of things that we can do. Right now, we're set to active. So this is our active items in the database. If I had set any to inactive, they would be listed here. If I had deleted any items, they'd be listed here. So this is actually a set of things that were deleted. We could see we're on item 25. This is 25 if I click on it of the 31 that are in there. So I could hit the next page, obviously, to go to the last ones. If you go back home again and go back to active, we're now back to our main list on page 1. How the list is sorted is set by clicking on the header. So if I want to click, for instance, and have it sort high to low, then when I click once here where the finger comes, you'll see now it's the biggest number first. If I click again, now it's the smallest number first. And it's the same thing for description. So we've got the number sign and then numbers and letters. It's an alphanumeric sort. Current cost, same thing, current price. Any of these fields that have the up or down arrow are fields that are sortable that you can sort by. Over here then we have other menu options. We have the filter option. We have modify columns option. We have our import and export page. This is a maximize button. So when we maximize, it takes the screen to full screen. When we hit the escape key, it brings us back. So my recorder right now is set to only do a particular size of my big screen, so you can see it's cutting off. But if I hit escape, it brings me back. When you go to maximize, you'll notice at the top then that you don't have the tabs or anything. It's just the software itself. On the menu, you have search for items. Search for items allows you to drill into the list and pull up just items that are of what you're looking for. The first thing you can do is type in a number. So if I'm looking at a cigarette, for instance, and I type barcode rather, and I type in 18200, that's the beginning numbers for the barcode, then we'll see it's actually pulled up just products that have that in it so far. So now we're down to 234 items. And as if I keep typing 007, for instance, now we're down to just those that there are. So if you have a barcode in front of you and you're typing, if you just kind of pay attention to the screen, at some point you'll be down to the list of just the items that match that, and you'll be able to just click and move on. You're also able to use a USB scanner so that if you scan, it will find the item and it will make it available to you. You're also able to put names in there. So for instance, say I'm looking for potato chips that are onion flavor. Well, I just type the word onion and then I'm at anything in the database that's onion. So that's sort of how the search items works. Once you've found what you're looking for, I guess we'll go back to that again. There's two ways to begin the edit process. The first is to click on this checkbox here. That pulls up this menu of edit, delete, and deactivate. If I click edit, then I'm brought into our editor. In this mode, you actually have a 5-page editor to work with. So each section of the product is essentially kept in its own page. Down on the bottom, once you've come in here, you have your controls to go back, which will take you to the last page you were on in this case. Cancel takes you out of the page altogether. Next, in this case, is taking us to the next page of options, which are also, again, available by clicking on the top menu up here. If I click cancel, that's always going to take us back to the list. The other thing you can do is actually click on either the number or the name. That pulls up our multi-edit page. The multi-edit page has the same information that the one I just showed you does. However, now it's on one page upon which you can scroll. So once you've come in, now all the sections are here to add images, add your supplier. Again, in this case, because when I hit back, now I'm back to where I was. In this case, it's the item list. If you have a multi-store database, in other words, you're controlling multiple stores from a single database, you'll have a drop-down up here. What the drop-down does is populates the list in terms of its prices and its costs on hand if it's something that you have on the grid into the grid itself. So if you're trying to see how prices are set in any particular store, you're able to do so by picking the drop down and then seeing which store do I want to look at. So for instance, here, this is the prices for store 1. If I pick 7, those are the prices for store 7. So we can see this chicken wrap is $2.79 there, and it's $2.79 at that store as well. So this is strictly to populate the list with the prices and the quantities on hand for that given store. Next up is how to modify columns on the item list.